Dom Bergen. And every Monday and Thursday, you're going to hear the voice of a different author share their stories, expertise, and their struggles that they had to overcome in life to leave you inspired to get more out of your life. Be sure to not only listen to this episode, but share with others, connect with the authors, and always advance others to advance yourself. Now let's get on with the show. And today on the Going North podcast, we're back at you again with another author, baby, another one, but not just any author. We have a master career coach as well as a keynote speaker, a workshop facilitator, and she also has the moniker of the six-figure dream job mentor. And she's from the DMV, which is freaking awesome. And what's even more awesome is that she's also a fellow podcast host. She is the host of the wonderful Dare to Dream podcast, which is a mix of experts as well as her dropping some of her own knowledge and some wonderful inspirational scripture to get your mind focused on getting the best out of your life and getting that six-figure J-O-B. Heck, even probably leaving your J-O-B so you can no longer be J-O-B, as in just over broke. And you're probably wondering who this wonderful author is right here, just snuck in time for Women's History Month. It's the one and only Lisa Ealy. How are you today, ma'am?
I am doing awesome, Dom. I appreciate you connecting with me with your fabulous podcast, Going North. And I am doing well in this Women's History Month, trying to make fabulous things happen in the DMV and beyond. So definitely excited about our conversation.
Oh, yeah, me too, indeed. And one of the books you're a part of is called The Real Girlfriends Pray, Devotional Journal. That's right, The Real Girlfriends Pray, baby.
Yes, and so I'm going to say this. So it is a devotional journal, and it is designed, now the title, don't let it fool the men out there as well. It is entitled Real Girlfriends Pray because every Thursday I do hold a prayer call, and I've been doing that for about 3 years, and it's an extension of my ministry and an offshoot of my business, Dare to Dream. And so the devotionals in there were devotionals that I wrote for those conversations over the last 3 years, and it was actually published in October. And so it is meant to be a guide to help people, women and men who are spiritually minded and need to get reconnected to God or their source. So each of the 21 sections, because it takes 21 days to form a habit, so that's on purpose, is designed to connect people to Scripture, to a devotional story related to that Scripture that is relevant to our time. There is also a prayer and prompts for meditation and journaling. And there is actually space in the book to actually use it as a journal. And so I've been receiving some positive feedback from my audience and people who have purchased the book, this devotional journal, on how it is impacting their lives and taking them closer to God, closer to Source, and allowing them to renew, refresh, and just be ready to embark on whatever new things they're trying to do in their life and their dreams, which, of course, includes a dream job. So that's what the devotional is about.
Oh, that is such an awesome thing indeed. So 3 years with a prayer hotline, that is freaking awesome. And it's still going.
It is still going every Thursday at 7 a.m. We still get together for approximately 15 minutes, and we start out with a devotional prayer and, of course, Scripture, and then people are able to start their days off on the right foot. And so it has been rewarding for me as well to be able to share in that environment and with the men and women who listen every Thursday morning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So with all Wonder Women, they always have a great beginning. So how'd you get to where you currently are? Because I'm pretty sure you didn't get here overnight being a minister and an author and just having all the success that you have.
I think that the biggest thing for me is, I can recall some of, my most challenging and most lowest moments. And I have to be honest, Don, with you and your audience, is that my connection, for me, my source is God, has allowed me to overcome so many things because I know that there is a higher power, a higher force that is acting on my behalf to allow me to overcome, to allow me to keep moving forward, and to allow me to know that no matter what storm I should face or wherever I should be in life, that it is going to be better on the other side. And so that's what I hold out for. That's what I pray for. That's what I encourage for those that I meet, those that I speak to, those that I coach, and those that are in my life. And so I wish that also for others.
Oh, it's a good wish indeed. It's a good wish indeed. And the good thing is you don't just wish it. You can actually help people make that happen, right?
I actually do. And so, part of it is, you start out doing something, you don't know where it's going to end up. But even with the book, it just ended up at 21, and then 21 just happens to be a number of days that it takes to establish a habit. And then one of the things I will say is that, in my business, Dare to Dream, I help people to ignite their inner mindset, and it's focused primarily on spiritually minded professionals to help them to discover their own passions, to renew their mindset so that they can align with their source, not mine, and manifest six-figure dreams. And that starts, in my opinion, with a job. And so I say job and not career because you have to be that focused. It doesn't lessen the job. It shouldn't feel lesser than a career, but it's just a specific title so that you can specifically pray for and you can specifically target what it is that you want. And so the interesting thing about the work that I do is that I'm passionate about this, one, because I've been in HR and in career coaching for more than 20 years. See, Dom, I started when I was 10 years old, and so I started real early. And so what I would say is that I'm just passionate about this really because I struggled with my own search after being laid off twice. Yes, twice in 2 years. And my husband and I actually moved to Maryland for a job for me. And after 11 months, I was laid off that second time. And so it was devastating how to figure out where to get started with no network, no plan, and really no one to help me along the way. So my program, which is the blueprint to land a six-figure dream job, came out of that my own search and my own need. And so what I actually was able to do is I was actually able to develop my own process for myself, pick myself up, like they say, by your bootstraps. And literally the first step I did was identify everybody that I did know in Maryland. And that also led me to be able to create a process and to identify my own six-figure dream job in record time. So I was able to be back at work making more than I had ever made before in 4 weeks. And so I felt like that was pretty amazing, and it was too good for me to just keep to myself. It was too good of a blessing, And that has become the basis of my company, Dare to Dream.
Oh, yeah. And a special shout-out to a fellow author, Gladys Peaches Kenny's got a book called Stepping Out on Faith, Dare to Dream, because this lady right here, she stepped out on faith, got a 6-figure job in 4 weeks. Oh, that's freaking awesome.
No, thank you for that.
That is awesome indeed. And she's made a blueprint out of it, and then it's available for all that is interested, which is awesome. That is awesome. That is definitely awesome. Got to put that in the show notes later. But that's got to suck, though, at least in the beginning, before the whole blueprint was finalized and you got the new job, just being laid off and not just back-to-back like that.
Absolutely. I will say it was so disheartening. But the interesting thing about it is that I believe that when we are connected to Source, for me, that's God, is that you get little signals. And so I received some signals that my end was coming. And so when it actually happened on the day, like literally all the equipment that they had issued me, a laptop, a cell phone, an iPad, all of that, I didn't normally travel with it, but I was meeting with the VP that day, and for whatever reason, I had everything available right then and there. And so the ironic thing about it, but also the blessed thing about it, is that I was ready emotionally and mentally, and I was prepared. And so what helped me to turn around really quickly is that I knew that even though this door was shutting, that there was some bigger blessing out there waiting for me. And so literally, like the next day, I just, I said, okay, first I got to list out who I know. And I didn't waddle in the fact that I had got laid off, my position was eliminated. I literally just got to work the next day. So that day, I ended up meeting my husband for lunch, and I just said that, that I'm not going to be upset about what happened, and I didn't allow myself to, sometimes I know I've done this in the past, just, stay in that negative state. Like I literally said, instead of saying, why me, I said, what next? And I focused on what was next. And literally, I will say, I was a beast at it, and I tell my clients now that looking for a job when you don't have a position already is a full-time job. So if you have spent at least 40 hours a week doing that, then you should spend at least 40 hours a week engaged in that. But I also say there's other things to think about, is that you got to make sure that you get the right help as well. And that was one of the things that helped me when I connected back to my network, was also looking for opportunities to be in places where other like-minded people were, because that helped me also to advance my search. And I'm truly amazed by the nature of people, whether they're in the world professionally that I met, that were in my network, or even new people that I met on LinkedIn that really took time to help me advance my search, not even knowing me. So you'd be surprised. I think people are really surprising in the sense that genuinely when they see someone who is authentic and coming from a place of genuine humility, they really want to help you. And so that was probably the most amazing thing that I got out of this, is I got connected to some very amazing people and individuals who really gave me great ideas and advocated for me along the way. And so I would recommend that to anybody, is stay connected to people, network with people, and ultimately, of course, stay connected with whatever you identify as your source, if that is God, or by any name that you would call it. But know that, there's a higher power and force out there advocating for our success.
I like what you said about instead of asking why me, you asked what's next. That is powerful right there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And not just in that sense. I will say, for people who know me, they know this about me. But I have been married twice, so this is my second marriage. My first husband succumbed to an illness related to cancer, and it was devastating at the time because I was, in my 30s, and I had planned my whole life out, and I thought that, that we would just grow old together, and that wasn't necessarily in the plan. And there's something that people who suffer loss and grief go through, and it is called sorrow, and it is shock, anger, resistance, acceptance, hope. And so any change in our life, what I learned going through that, and this is changes on our job, this is the change of moving from one location to another, it is the changes that we have, as we age, and our life changes as we become empty nesters, as we retire, and as, whatever life we have as it changes. And so that helped me learning that lesson at that age, helped me to understand that, yes, you can go through all of those steps, shock, anger, resistance, hope, acceptance, but you've got to push yourself through past hope to acceptance, because that's the place where you start asking the question, what's next, and not why me. Because if you stay in those other places, it's very hard to continue to grow, advance, and thrive, and to continue to become the person that you dream about, the person that you know that God is calling you to be, and to become that person that can actually help others reach their higher level and their higher self. And so that's the beauty of really existing and being part of, this world that we call Earth, which is amazing.
Oh, yeah, amazing indeed. The good Mother Earth. That's right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Mother Nature. Yes, indeed. So, sorry about what happened to husband number one. That's got to be really tough right there.
Yeah, in the beginning, I will say, and I will speak his name, and I can't speak his name without saying my husband, Cliff, who we've been married for 10 years, who is, the love of my life. And I feel so blessed to have had two men that were amazing, that I could call husbands. And so I first have to, of course, acknowledge him because he is so supportive, and he has been literally the wind beneath my wings, and he has just helped me to grow and to keep moving forward, and he's such an encourager. So I love him literally with all my heart. My first husband, who was a minister, Reverend William Scott Wiggins Jr., we actually met at church, and at the time, I would have never thought that I could ever love anyone else. But that's just how wonderful God is that some things are not meant to last a lifetime. Some things are temporary. And it was temporary for us to be together, but it's nothing about it that I would ever change. And I say to people is that when he got his diagnosis with cancer, our oncologist at the time said this, and it's like stuck with me like glue. What he said is when you get a diagnosis like this, and the truth is we all have a diagnosis because we all are born to die. But what he said is either you get busy living or you get busy dying. And so that little statement made it so that I would spend the rest of my life, even today, each and every day, waking up to today, I'm going to get busy living. And so whatever that is, for me, it's the dreams that I have. It's dare to dream. It is helping people, other people, to dare to dream so that they can keep living their best life, and whatever that might be. And I don't want to say that, it's just a job or just a career, but this also helps people in their businesses, and it also helps you in your ministry, because these are all the different ways that we actually can earn a living so that we can live that dream life that I keep talking about, the one that God is calling us to and that has formed and shaped us for, so that we can live in our higher self and that we're helping other people by sharing whatever our blessing is that He has so freely given to us. So that's some amazing stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, as with a lot of authors, I'm pretty sure there have been other books that have inspired you to create your own. Do you mind sharing a title or two in addition to the Bible that has helped you?
Absolutely. So there's a book. It's a little book, but it's powerful. It is written by an author. His name is Price Pritchett, and that's Pritchett. And it's called U Squared. And it's literally YOU squared. And then the subtitle is A High Velocity Formula for Multiplying Your Personal Effectiveness in Quantum Leap. And literally, you probably could read it in a few hours. My recommendation in going through it is that you read each section, which is about a page and a half, day by day, and that you reflect on it. But really, it helps you to define what your quantum leap is. And the example I would give is an example that he uses in the book, and he talks about taking the leap from one side to the other. And there's a point when you're on a trapeze, for example, and you're holding one side of the trapeze, and then the other trapeze, and you've probably seen this, whether it's on television or at the circus, is coming towards you. But you've got to let go of where you are so that at some point you're not holding on to anything. It's just pure faith that you're going to be able to reach out and have the strength to grab the next trapeze that's going to pull you forward. And so reading this book really gave me the courage to take that quantum leap, because actually a few months ago I resigned, like my grandmother would say, my good job, to take the leap and become a full-time entrepreneur. And so every day I wake up taking that leap in my head over and over and over again. So for someone who is contemplating making a big leap or a big change or doing something that they've never done before, I think it's a great read. It also is available on Amazon as well, but it's such an investment. I'm going to also share another book that's by an African American author. And for those of you who don't know, I'm being introduced to this audience for the first time. I am actually originally from Cleveland, Ohio. So Steve Harvey is my homeboy. He's actually from Cleveland, Ohio as well. And he wrote a book a while ago that was made into a film, really cute. And the title of the book is Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. And you wouldn't think that you would get a whole lot out of it, and I'm not saying that you read it from cover to cover, but what I got out of that book was I got the courage to ask for the things that I deserved. And so the example of what happened to me was when I first broke into six figures, I was working in an organization that's one of the original seats on the New York Stock Exchange. And I would say what was happening was they were promoting and giving big raises to Caucasian males and African-American men and just other people. And in my department, I worked in human resources, it appeared as though the women were being underpaid. And so after reading the book, I gained the courage to ask for what I deserved. Now, the big thing about it was I didn't do it right away. I contemplated it, thought about it. I mapped out what I would say, and I looked for the opportunity to ask for a raise. So the big thing was that I asked for the raise. I got the raise that I asked for and more. But the big thing about it that really amazed me was every other woman in leadership in my company also got reevaluated, and some of them received raises as well. And so the amazing thing for me was because I showed the courage to go into a place to ask for what really was already due, not only did God reward me, but he also rewarded every other woman in leadership in the company that was due a raise. And so that's what I think, that's what reading does. It opens the possibilities to things that you never thought possible, but it also opens the possibilities for many women around me as well. And so I count that all joy. And so I mention this to people who know me. They know this about me, is that I don't watch television. And so that doesn't mean that I never, ever see a show, but I don't sit and watch TV. There are a few things that I like, and one of them is I really love the Hallmark Channel just because it's so positive. So if I watch anything, it would be that. I do not watch the news for some probably very obvious reasons. But for the most part, I don't watch television, very, very, very limited, because I just don't have the time. And I choose to invest in myself through reading and to growing and to gaining knowledge. And I don't believe that the things that I've read, I could get that from TV. So I choose not to do it.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Yes, indeed. Not only got a raise for yourself, but the rest of the ladies on staff that were eligible. Freaking awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We got a conqueror in the house, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. Got a conqueror, baby. That's right. Indeed. And I also like the fact you're a like-minded person like myself, avoid the TV, especially the news. Yeah, that'll turn you into a giant little boulder of negativity real quick. Well, coming down to the question I like to ask every guest, and you probably won't have to go back too far for this one, but if you were to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 in the current year of 2019 with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
Wow. I saw that question on there, and I said, one of the things I think that could have really benefited me was a couple of things, actually. One is that connecting with my why. And so establishing that, right, and establishing some goals. So when I say original why is, like, why are you here? Why does it matter? Why is it important? And really understanding what that is for you and establishing some goals. But also, I believe fully now looking back at and if I were 25 again today and I could give this advice, and I would give this advice to anyone who's 25, who's younger than 25, or who's 2 times 25, that's 50, 55, 60, 75, is after you identify what your why is and what your goals are, get help. I think that was the biggest thing for me. This is actually my 4th business, and definitely the most successful business that I've had thus far, and I thank God for that. But I also thank God for putting people in my life to help me along the way. And so I would have never, for example, written the book had I not first sought help to declutter. And so I'm privileged to have a home office But I needed to declutter to have a time and space to realize a goal I had set for myself was to write a book. But I really had already written the book because I had the devotionals that I had wrote every week for then a little more than 2 years, and that really was a book. But I couldn't see my way to it. So first, I had to declutter. The second thing is that I had to begin to prepare myself for bigger. And so I literally had to tell people don't be the obstacle to your own success. So get out of your way. I am not an expert at everything. And I could have spent 6 months or a year. I could still be decluttering. And I will say decluttering is one of those things you have to keep doing. But because I got an expert to come in and help me to do it, it gave me a quicker path to my goal. The second thing that helped me was when I got my own business coach. So I got a business coach that helped me to define my offer and to put together the basis of launching a business and allowed me to focus. And then I up-leveled from that and got a business mentor. And so I say connect with your original why. Don't be an obstacle to your own success. And get help along the way. And don't be afraid to invest in yourself because that's what it is. It's not a cost. It is an investment, and it will pay off in the end. So that would be the thing I wish for myself is that I had connected sooner to my why, that I would not become an obstacle to my own success, and that I would get help, right? Actually get help. So.
That's right. Not just the spiritual help, but also the human help. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Power of coaching and decluttering experts. Woohoo!
Absolutely. They're definitely worth it. And then if you the thing about it too is if you just ask like our networks are so powerful. And I think that's one of the things that I think that's so important for us as a people. And when I say that, it's people who are trying to advance themselves, right? People trying to get to a higher level beyond where they are today. Is that your network is gold. It's platinum, right? It's like triple platinum at the end of the day. And so we need to make sure that we're staying connected to our network, that we are nurturing our network, that we are making ourselves available for our network, and that we're not just taking, but we're also giving little nuggets along the way, and that we're generous, inside of our networks as well, and that we're looking after people and seeing how can I help them to also help them to thrive and move forward and all of that, and so. That network thing it's powerful.
Oh, yeah, it's a platinum spider web. That's right, a double, triple platinum spider web. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. It's the one you don't squish either. Yes, indeed, that's right. Get the people caught up in there. Yeah, then you can call them. One by one, from Tyrone to Tyrell to Tina Fey. Yes, indeed. All right, and for those who want to keep in contact with you, what's the best way to reach out to you?
So the best way to reach out to me is actually on my website. And so my website will have, all the different ways to connect with me on social media and how to email me. But my website is www.dare2dreamcareers.com. And, we're there with connection to our podcast, Instagram, and how to connect with us on Facebook. And then also I do offer a couple free gifts. So I do free discovery calls for individuals who want to figure out how they can take whatever their dream is to the next level, their passion, helping them reset their mindset along the way. But then also some tips about jobs. And so the top 10 secrets to land your six-figure dream job, and they are really top secrets. So connect with me there, and, we'll see how we can help you to take your dream to the next level.
Oh, yeah, gonna put that weed on the dream, baby. Gonna take it to the next level of high, baby. That's right. Gonna take it moon high, forget sky high. That's right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, there you have it, folks. Go on out there. Head over to the wonderful website, daretoDreamCareers.com, and give Lisa a shout-out. Let her know you enjoyed the episode. Let her help you get to the next level. Heck, even head over to Amazon, pick up that devotional book. That's right, because Real Girlfriends Pray, baby. That's right, the P-R-A-Y, not the P-R-E-Y. I think that's the team of cougars. That's probably the Pray type, but that's a whole other story. So go on out there and pick up that wonderful book. So any other parting words for our wonderful listener?
Yes. So this is what I would say. Seek the answer. Make it work. Keep believing. Keep trying. Don't give up on you, because in the end, you overcome the obstacle and you win. And whatever you do, keep dreaming.
Hey there, buddy. Looks like you made it to the end of this episode. Since you made it to the end of this episode, do both of us a favor and stop being greedy. Stop it right now and share this episode with your friends and your fellow podcast lovers, especially those who have book clubs and want to listen to the authors who write some amazing books. Be sure to check out the rest of the backlog too while you're at it, and share all those too. And in order to make the rest of your week the best of your week, remember to advance others, to advance yourself.